talking about identity, we're talking about labels, and we're talking about the problem I have with labels like LGBTQIA plus, and I'm getting in a bit of a pickle. So who do we turn to? We turn to our motivational public speaker. He's a trainer in consultancy, inclusion and diversity. He knows his stuff, particularly about prejudice and discrimination. Kevin Baisley, welcome back. Hello, how are you?
Good morning, Rob. All very well here, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, we've opened a can of worms here now. Let's talk about all these labels. How did it all start? Because I remember there used to be just straight, gay, lesbian. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it has grown over time as more members of the LGBTQ plus community have identified themselves in a way that separates them from other groups within that community, and that mnemonic has then expanded to represent that entire community. But it's got to a point where it's now in itself, in my opinion, actually more divisive than cohesive, and actually it's helping put our community into silos.
It is. We're working for inclusion, but everybody wants identified separately. So it is discriminating. It's internal discrimination. I don't know how to describe this. It seems strange that it's almost like an implosion.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, and it was intended to show the great variety of the LGBTQ plus community, and just show, look, how many different people there are, but it's enforcing those differences, and it's highlighting those differences. And actually, as a community, now more so than ever, we actually need to be more cohesive. We need to demonstrate that we are allies for each other, and having a way of describing our community as a way that puts us into these silos and into these cliques, I genuinely feel is actually divisive to the community, and it's counterproductive, and it's not bringing us together to make sure that we stand together as allies for each other. Just as important as it is.
Is there still need for this, though? Do we still need it? Or do we need to start? I mean, we don't have a flag or a campaign for left-handeders or blondes or gingers or people with facial hair. So why do we have to have it for gender, sexuality? Why do we need that now?
Well, discrimination still exists, unfortunately. So I think it's very important that we have a recognition that this community is separate. They are there. They do exist. We need to make sure that we don't step backwards in the rights that have been won for people within the community. You've only got to look at the discussions going on about trans members of the community, and how the rights that they've gained over the last few years are now actually being rolled back, and look at the horrific things that are happening to trans people under legislation in America, for instance. So we need that focus to maintain the pressure to keep those rights. And I think that's what's important.
It's a divided focus under all these different groups, so isn't it? And I'm reading on your Facebook page, you say it'd be so much simpler, less of a mouthful, fully inclusive, non-triggering, and more cohesive to have one word. And it would be, because when I'm looking at it, we've got 8 syllables to say one thing.
Yeah. I mean, having a collective noun, and whatever that collective noun may be, is by definition, it's collective. It's more cohesive. It brings our community together. So whether we use the word gay as a collective noun for the entire community, whether we use something like queer as a collective noun for that entire community, just having a single word that reflects everybody in that wonderful non-heterosexual and or non-cisgendered community that is out there, and giving them that one identity that covers them all, is really important to bring them together and make sure that we do stand together, because that's how we gained our rights back in the 60s and 70s. We stood together as gay people, as lesbians, as transgender people, as people of colour within the community. We stood together under that banner.
It's a subject we need to talk about, and some people are quite dismissive about it. Kay says it might not be too long before people won't have to identify as gay or whatever term you want. People will just be people, and their partner. I don't think that's going to happen, is it? I mean, that's very nice to say that, but that identification is still necessary.
Yeah, I would love it to get to the point where people just realise that people are people, and we don't need labels. But for the time being, it's good it's supportive to those members of the community who are just coming out. It helps them to realise that they're not alone. It gives them that support network. It gives them that sense of community, and it does help us to stand together against the bigots and the haters who are out there online and in real life that are still attacking us today.
So where do we go then? Because there is division being caused, and not all. Of course, people are people, and not all the L's, the G's, the B's, the T's, and whatever get on with each other. So we need. I don't know how. What do you suggest we do now then?
Well, it's all about discussion, isn't it? And getting people to understand that, anybody's sexuality, their sexual orientation, their gender identity, their gender expression, their biological sex even, none of that is anybody's business. There's only two people or two groups of people who need to know that apart from yourself. That's the partner that you are romantically or sexually involved with, and your medical professionals. Everybody else, it doesn't matter to you. So let's hope we do get to that point where we don't need to label ourselves. But for the time being, while we're still being attacked by people, we do need that cohesive identity that pulls us together, and it stops the individual letters of the community pulling apart. And indeed, it also helps to prevent certain areas of our community deliberately excluding. So you've got people like the LGB Alliance who have deliberately excluded the T. They are gender critical, and by giving it a breakdown of the LGBTQ+, that allows that kind of attack to happen. If we had a single cohesive collective noun, how do you exclude someone from that?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's not going to be an answer for this. I mean, it's hope and it's discussion and what you've started. And we've got lots of comments coming on here. Your Facebook page has gone wild overnight. I mean, if you had a printer, you'd be running out of paper by now, wouldn't you?
I think so.
All right, great to talk to you. Come back again, talk to us soon. I'd love to have you on Suffolk Sound as always. Kevin Baisley, he's a motivational public speaker. He trains and consults in inclusion and diversity. He's had a tough life as well. We'll talk about that another day, about discrimination and prejudice. We'll maybe get on and talk about that the other day. That was a horrific story about his career. This is coming in from Larry. I'm afraid the alphabetic people are becoming increasingly confused themselves. It is. I'm getting a bit confused as well. Let me know what you think. If you've got views, we'll take it forward if you like.
Get involved now.